a poem a machine?
Yeah, I think you said that a poem is a machine. I'm just curious what you meant by that.
So William Carlos Williams said in his introduction to The Wedge, one of his books, The Wedge, which was written in the 50s, a poem is a small or large machine made of words. It's a familiar concept, the idea that a poem is and Valéry, actually, sorry, my pronunciation is not so good, it's Valéry. Paul Valéry, the poet, French poet, basically wrote in his famous essay, Poetry and Abstract Thought, that a poem is a machine for creating the poetic feeling in a person. That's what it's for. That's its purpose. And so the idea that a poem is a machine is something that's been around for a long time, but it's basically a construct made out of language to do something. That's the way in which it's a machine, because it's not primarily a content delivery device, because we have other content delivery devices in our language that are much more efficient than a poem. So the poem must be a machine that's designed to do something else. That's the idea anyway. That's what to explain it further, I guess.
In that case, then, kind of like an essay could be a machine. Any piece of writing can.
Yeah. But the interesting thing about a poem is that, you know, it's more easy. What the machine of an essay or the machine of a newspaper editorial, the machine of a story is for, is much more obvious to us than what the machine of a poem is for. That's kind of why it's sort of interesting to think about a poem as a machine, because immediately the question arises, well, what does this machine do? A story is a machine to make stories, make a story in us. You know, we know that.
And a book itself, also, you couldn't go on and on and on. They're usually, as we were, I think, talking earlier, 300 pages average. That's the way publishers like it too. Other questions?
In fact, I think this probably should be our last question, and then we can adjourn to the lobby, where I think we'll have book signing, and then also people can hang out and talk more.
All right. Thank you very much.
One more question?
Did you say one more? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said one more.
Okay.
Back there, yeah?
I'm curious, you said that Oulipo was founded in 1960, and I know that there are writers that are considered proto-Oulipians, like Raymond Roussel. So I was wondering what you would give as a historical account of why Oulipo emerged in 1960 and what the cultural landscape was like around that time, and also, since it has been such a long-lived group, what were its interactions, if there were any, with other, perhaps similarly minded groups or literary movements, like Nouveau Roman, from so it seemed that they're both kind of maybe anti-feminist.
Why did you pick him?
That's good that I'm not in a tough question.
Yeah, the book answers some of these questions, although not in a way that I would call complete. And I think that's just a deficiency that it shares with me, because I don't really know. I'm not that interested, to put it bluntly, in the sort of cultural landscape that led to the Oulipo, especially in terms of. I guess what I will say, what does interest me is the immediate legacies of A, surrealism, B, the Dada movement, and C, this thing called the Collège de Pataphysique, or the School of Pataphysics, which was sort of the incarnation of the surrealist and Dada networks after World War II, that was kind of absurdist and kind of very silly about its pomp and circumstance as a literary entity, but also really, really serious and really attentive to kind of the frivolity of literature at the same time as it embraced it. And a lot of the members of the Oulipo, a lot of the founders of the Oulipo came out of that culture, and I think wanted to start something that was less disenchanted with the world, a little more excited about the possibilities of language, but also kind of aware of I don't know, the ambient weirdness of the cultural landscape. Yeah, I think that's kind of a topic that's been covered better by the other books that have been written on the Oulipo, and some of that's addressed in here, but some of that, is more of a scholarly, Warren Motti kind of question. So, sorry.
Great, well, thank you very much. John, did you want to conclude with any final words from the panel head?
Those other books are not available in the lobby. This is,
So, sorry.
thank you.